The city sidewalk was loud, busy, and uncaring. Cars rushed past, strangers walked with purpose, and life moved forward, as if everyone had somewhere to be. But in the midst of that noise, one sound cut deeper, sharp and trembling. A baby crying uncontrollably, wrapped in a faded blue blanket, held tightly in the arms of a young mother whose eyes were already filled with silent tears. She sat on a cold metal bench, head bowed, one hand supporting her baby, and the other pressed to her forehead, as if trying to hold herself together before everything inside her shattered completely. And for a moment, it felt like the entire world was walking past her, not seeing her, not hearing her, not caring. Then, someone stopped. A man, not much older than her, crouched down in front of her, holding a small brown paper bag of groceries, still wearing the exhaustion of his own long day. He could have walked past her too. He could have pretended she wasn't there. But instead, he asked the one question no one else thought to ask, the question that would change both of their lives forever. Why is your baby crying? If you believe kindness can change a life, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps us bring more true and inspiring stories to the world. Her name was Emily, 23 years old, a mother to her 4-month-old son, Caleb. She had come to the city with dreams of a safe home, a loving partner, and a future where her child would grow up surrounded by warmth and security. But dreams don't always survive the real world. The baby's father, whom she thought loved her, changed the moment responsibility entered his life. One argument turned into two, then into nights of shouting, locked doors, and cold silences. When he finally told her to leave, he didn't say it with anger, he said it with indifference, and that hurt far worse. So she walked away, carrying her baby in her arms and nothing else. Life after that was a blur of shelters, borrowed couches, and days spent trying to stretch a few dollars into meals. Poverty made everything heavier. Her baby's needs, the fear of the next day, the uncertainty of where to go. The world expected her to be strong, to figure it out, to smile and keep going. But strength is not an infinite resource, and the weight of life had finally pushed her to that cold bench on that busy sidewalk where she sat, holding a crying baby and fighting back her own tears. The man who stopped was named Daniel. He was a single father to a 6-year-old girl named Lily. His wife had passed from an illness that came quickly and stole her life before anyone could prepare for goodbye. The grief had carved something deep inside him, something quiet, something heavy, but it had also left him with compassion, a heart that noticed the invisible pain of others. He knew what exhaustion looked like, he knew what loneliness felt like, and he knew when someone had reached their breaking point. As he watched Emily trying to soothe her baby while blinking back tears, he recognized a kind of struggle that words couldn't fully express. He gently offered her the paper bag he carried, and inside was a small sandwich, a banana, and a bottle of water. It was nothing grand, nothing heroic, but sometimes small kindness is the lifeline someone needs most. Emily hesitated at first. She had learned to be wary of people, to guard herself, but exhaustion won over pride. She accepted the food with trembling hands, whispering a thank you she could barely speak. Caleb slowly quieted as Emily held him closer, rocking him gently, though her own tears still fell silently. For a long moment, neither of them spoke. They didn't need to. The world around them moved, but the two of them remained still, two strangers connected by pain and humanity. Daniel sat beside her, not too close, just near enough to let her know she wasn't alone. Over the next few minutes, Emily shared pieces of her story, not everything, just enough. Daniel didn't offer pity. Emily didn't want pity. He listened, really listened, in a way that made her feel seen for the first time in months. And then Daniel told her about Lily, about losing his wife, about learning to be a father while fighting his own grief. And Emily realized something both comforting and heartbreaking. Life breaks everyone, just in different ways. Daniel could have walked away after that. He could have wished her well and continued with his day. But he didn't. He stood, took a slow breath, and said something that would become the turning point of her life. "You and your baby need help. I know a place. Come with me." It didn't feel like a rescue. It felt like a hand held out across the darkness. Emily followed him. The place he took her to was a local community support center, a small, warm shelter run by volunteers who provided food, toiletries, temporary housing assistance, and emotional support. Emily thought help only came from government offices, from paperwork and cold waiting rooms. She didn't know help could come from people, real people with warm eyes and open hearts. The shelter staff welcomed her without judgment. They helped her find temporary housing, got baby supplies, even connected her with counseling support. For the first time in months, Emily breathed, really breathed, without fear of where she would be tomorrow. Daniel checked on her every few days, not out of obligation, but because he genuinely cared. He would bring Lily sometimes, and Lily would sit beside Emily and hold Caleb's tiny hand with a kind of gentle affection only children naturally possess. Slowly, the crying baby became a laughing baby. Slowly, the exhausted mother became a growing, healing, hopeful one. Time passed, weeks, then months. Emily found part-time work through one of the shelter's programs. She saved money, built stability, and learned to trust life again. Daniel and Lily became more than friends. They became family, not instantly, not dramatically, but steadily, warmly, as love tends to grow when watered with kindness. And one day, Emily looked at Daniel, not as the stranger who helped her, but as the man she admired, a man who had already lost so much, yet still chose to give. A man whose heart had been broken, but instead of closing, had grown more compassionate. She realized something then. Love doesn't always arrive the way you expect it to. Sometimes it doesn't arrive with fireworks. Sometimes it arrives with a sandwich in a brown paper bag. And a quiet question asked on a busy sidewalk, "Why is your baby crying?" became the beginning of a new life. Months later, Emily stood in a small backyard garden behind Daniel's home. Caleb was crawling in the grass, Lily was laughing as she played beside him, and sunlight touched everything softly, as if blessing the moment. Daniel was tending to the flowers, carefully, thoughtfully, just like he cared for everyone in his life. Emily felt peace, something she never thought she'd feel again. Her life was not magically perfect. She still had fears, still had healing to do. But she wasn't alone anymore. She had a family, not one she had planned, not one she had expected, but one she cherished more than anything. And the most beautiful part, she learned that sometimes the world does see you. Sometimes someone does stop. Sometimes kindness does arrive exactly when you need it most. If this story touched your heart, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Your engagement helps this channel reach more people who need hope and encouragement. Before the story ends, please comment below. Kindness can change everything. Let's spread that message together.